It's 1 minute to go at the final of the Wessex Winter Warmer between the Cumberland Sausages in red and the Cambermet Cardinals in blue. This is a high quality event and we've got really light wind conditions, and you can see looking upwind there's not a lot coming down. Spinnaker is a renowned shifty location, so we've got a lot of left and right winds coming in. The boats are going to be struggling to make their ley lines as there's 35 seconds until the start. They're trying to get control of their pairs. We've got that red 4 boat rolling over the top of the boat pair, and we've got those 2 boats down towards the pin who are tacking up to the ley line to try and keep control of it as the wind is going more and more left as we enter the final 20 seconds of the start. Now, those boats at the boat end and the middle of the line, they're thinking that maybe they're actually going to be a bit late for the start, so the red boats are just sitting on top, controlling their pairs, preventing blue from getting back up to the ley line, so at least they can get a better start than their pair. And we can see in the final few seconds of the start that red 6 is going to be over, and they're also going to be caught on starboard by that blue 2, who are pushed below their ley line by red 4, and blue 3 has had a great start, but other than that his teammates have been a bit screwed. Those red boats are pushing over the line in a 2-3-4 by the looks of things, and that is a strong, stable winning combination for the red boats, and they're going to start progressing up the first beat. Although now we can see that, having said that, red boat 6 has got a spin, so they're going to be back in 6, which changes the race entirely, because red have gone from having a 2-3-4, a stable winning combination, to blue having a 1-4-5, which is another stable winning combination. And the red boats in 2 and 3 here are immediately thinking, well, we're a long way behind their boat in 1, so what we have to immediately do is hit back on these boats behind us. They've got a loose cover on both of those blue boats, and they're going to try and get their teammate back into the race. The blue boat in first place is looking to see if either of their teammates can slip past even one of these boats, where the blue can then quickly convert from a 1-3 to a 1-2. And as they're coming up the course here, you can see the shiftiness of Spinnaker coming into play, because we've got some more wind coming down. We can see that red boat 6 is still a long way back, but we've got some breeze coming in, and that's going to make the whole race compress up again, because all those boats behind are going to catch up, and what seemed like a big gap before is going to seem like a much smaller gap in the breeze. As we approach the windward mark, we can see that that blue boat in 1 has really tried to get their teammate in to get that 1-2 combination, but you can see the red boats have held them out. They're coming into the windward mark, and they're going to try and hold them. We've got some questionable camera work from the Southampton sailor who filmed this for me, but we can see the race still going on here. We've got that blue boat in 1 still, and blue are slowly losing their 1-4-5 combination here, but they have the opportunity for a 1-3 instead. And so that's what they're immediately doing, is from their 1-3, they're trying to convert to a 1-2. The blue boat in 3 there has done a jibe or attack back on the top reach, which is a really unusual move, but I will say I've seen the Cambermet Cardinals do that before. They've done it on me. It's a move they've practiced. It's unorthodox, but I've seen it work really well for them. It worked really well the last time they did it against me, because I was completely unprepared for it, because who does that on the top reach? So now they're coming into this mark with what looks like a 1-2, but in a really unstable 1-2, because as we said, it's light, it's shifty, there's a long run ahead, and 6 is basically in the perfect place to get straight on a cover. And in fact, they're even just rolling straight over the top there. I mean, 2 are just in the mud. Now, the other red boat is coming down and trying to catch up, and that blue boat at the back is going to be trying to keep ahead, to try and keep the 5, and then they can play back to a 1-4-5 instead. And that looks like what blue have immediately decided. They said, okay, the 1-2 isn't on, let's go back to our original combination, let's try and get a 1-4-5. So blue 2 is on the hit back, trying to hit back on red 4, and red 6 is immediately on the hit back as well, trying to get control of blue 2. It's a conversion race here. It's, can red get a 2-3-4 before blue get a 1-4-5? That's the game they're trying to play. And it looks like blue have managed to get control first, which means that blue have the 1-4-5, which means that blue are now in that stable winning combination of a 1-4-5 yet again. Now, I would say that blue 1 here is quite detached from the fleet. They're quite a long way forwards, and they're probably thinking that in this light wind, they don't want to engage too much, because they don't want to risk the 1, because the 1 is the most important position. 8 out of 10 winning combinations in 3-boat team racing involve the 1, so they don't want to risk losing it. But by being so detached, it does mean the red have free rein to hit back as much as they want, and it's going to make it easier for red to push blue round Mark 3 if blue decides to try and do any trap or anything. Now, the blue boat in blue 2, who's in 5, is hitting back really hard on that red boat who's in 6, which is exactly what you want to do when you're in the 5 of a 1-4-5. You're trying to really make it hard for those red boats in 2-3 to slow down your teammate and get back in the race. The blue boat in 1 is looking for an opportunity for whether there's a 1-2 conversion, but there isn't, and instead their teammate is forced to take a big Mark 3's trap and really slow down. But luckily, because of the work of blue in 5, they're okay. They can round the mark, and they've still got that 1-4-5 as we head onto the bottom reach. Now, the tricky part here is that once again, boat speed is king. We're into those shifty, light conditions. A lot of these boats are looking quite vulnerable here, because if they make even a small boat handling error, they could be sailed through up the final beat. They could be in real trouble. So blue 3 is trying to re-accelerate, really keep the 1. Red 6 is pushing forwards. They're putting pressure on them. They're playing for the fact that they might be able to get the 1. And that's also meaning that their teammate can keep their speed on. They decide not to go for a jibe back here, probably because, as we said, with the light conditions, they've got a lot of opportunities on this long final beat to do something. So blue 1 tacks off immediately. They're going to try and push out left and keep some speed on. Blue 2 is still trying to hold that red boat in 6. They're trying to really make them be the slowest boat. So we can see blue 2 is tacking off with them, but red 4 does a double tack back. Blue 2 hasn't got control of them yet, and 4 does a really nice tack. They're looking really fast at the back there. And so blue decides they need a second longer before their next tack, and this isn't working to blue's advantage, because then they accidentally catch up with their teammate and they go straight into the middle of the race. And now they've tacked off. We've got some separated pairs, and you can see here we've got a classic 1-4-5 degeneration scenario, which is that we've got 3 boats on the left, 2 reds and a blue, and we've got 3 boats on the right, 2 blues and a red. And it's now a race about who can convert first. Again, how can we get to the finish line with a side, with a fast side and a slow side, with one team being ahead? We've had a bit of compression there again. So that blue boat who was on the right hand side is now kind of back with red 4, but they're looking slow. They've got a boat on top of them. The blue boat who's in first doesn't know which pair to help out, and all of a sudden that pair on the far left is looking really slow as well, and they're in a really tricky situation. They don't want to lose the 1, but they're looking back thinking, which of my teammates should I help? How can we get a 1-2 out of this? Red have sailed through the boat on the left. That means that they've got a really strong position out there. They're holding them. That's going to be the 5-6 pair now. So that blue boat in 1 has decided, okay, right, I need to come down and help my teammate blue 2, and this is the pair that I'm going to try and get into a 1st-2nd combination. And we can see all these boats rafted out, just going right out to the left-hand side of the course. They're all dead slow. They're all just trying to finish ahead of their pair, finish ahead of one other boat, because if 2 out of 3 of pairs on your team can be won, 2 out of 3 pairs is all you need to win the race. And now everyone's tacking towards the finish. We've got that blue boat 3 in first, and red go back to help their teammate yet again. And what they're trying to do here is they're trusting their other teammate to do something to slow down and prevent that 1-2 combination. Now, from here, it looks like it should be a win for blue. Blue should be able to push in a 1st-2nd combination. That blue 1 should be able to sail underneath 6, just push them towards the line. But there we've had a classic Spinnaker header. You can see it's a big header. It's really slow. They've slowed down a lot. And blue 1 gets worried about that red 5 boat sailing over the top of them. They try to double tack, but 6 gets their bow down, prevents the double tack, and that's going to be a penalty for blue boat 1. They've called that they're spinning. Red 6 has protested. They've thrown a bit of a Hail Mary there to try and save their teammate. And all of a sudden, we've gone from blue having that strong winning combination to suddenly being stuck with red coming through with a 2, a 3, and either a 4 or 5. And just like that, the Cumberland Sausages have won the first race of the final of the Wessex Winter Warmer 2026.